Everything you knew about procrastination is wrong. All right, buckle up. Because today we're diving deep into a topic that messes with pretty much everyone, procrastination. You know the drill, you've got an important task ahead, maybe something that could even change your life. And what do? You start scrolling through your phone, binge watching that new Netflix series, or suddenly find the urge to clean every inch of the lab. It's like your brain is doing everything it can to avoid that one task. But what if I told you that procrastination isn't just about being lazy or bad at time management? Nope, it's something much deeper. And today we're going to uncover the truth, the emotional roots of procrastination. So why do we procrastinate? Let's get one thing straight, procrastination isn't about being a slacker, it's an emotional response. Yeah, I know, it sounds strange, but think about it. When you procrastinate, it's usually because you're trying to avoid something unpleasant. Maybe it's fear of failing, fear of not being good enough, or even fear of succeeding and having to live up to new expectations. Or maybe it's anxiety, stress, or just plain boredom. The task at hand makes you feel uncomfortable, so you dodge it by doing something easier or more enjoyable. And here's the kicker, those distractions, like scrolling through Instagram or watching another cat video, aren't random. They're carefully chosen by your brain to help you avoid that discomfort. It's a quick hit of dopamine, a little reward to make you feel good in the moment. But in the long run, it just makes things worse. The illusion of immediate gratification. Let's break this down a bit more. Have you ever noticed how procrastination feels good at first? You tell yourself, I'll just take a quick break, and before you know it, hours have gone by. That's because your brain is wired to seek out immediate gratification. When faced with a tough task, your brain will naturally gravitate towards something more rewarding in the short term, even if it's completely unproductive. It's like eating a donut. Instead of a salad, it feels great in the moment, but it's not doing you any favors in the long run. But here's where it gets tricky. The more you give in to procrastination, the worse you feel afterward. That looming deadline doesn't disappear, it just gets closer and more stressful. And what's your brain's solution to that stress? More procrastination. It's a vicious cycle, and if you don't break it, you end up stuck in a loop of anxiety, stress, and guilt. The procrastination perfectionism trap. Now, let's talk about another big player in this game, perfectionism. Believe it or not, a lot of procrastination is rooted in the desire to be perfect. Think about it, how many times have you put off starting something because you were worried it wouldn't be perfect? Whether it's writing an essay, creating a project, or even just sending an email, the fear of making mistakes can paralyze you. You tell yourself, I'll start when I'm ready, when I've got it all figured out, but guess what? That moment rarely comes. Perfectionism is like a double-edged sword. On one side, it drives you to do your best work. On the other, it can stop you from doing anything at all. The fear of not being perfect often leads to inaction, because it's easier to procrastinate than to face the possibility of failure. But here's the truth. Perfection doesn't exist. It's an illusion. And waiting for the perfect moment to start something is just another form of procrastination. The Stoic perspective, taking control of what you can. All right, so how do we tackle this? Let's take a page from the Stoics, a group of ancient philosophers who knew a thing or two about dealing with tough situations. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. Sounds simple, but it's incredibly powerful when you put it into practice. One of the key ideas in Stoicism is understanding that the only thing you truly have control over is your own mind. You can't control the task in front of you. You can't make that 20-page report write itself. And you can't guarantee that your project will be a smashing success. But you can control how you approach the task. You can control your mindset, your focus, and your effort. And that's where your power lies. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. In other words, don't waste time worrying about things you can't change. Focus on what you can do right now, in this moment. That's how you start taking control of your procrastination. Step 1. Brutal honesty with yourself. The first step to beating procrastination is getting brutally honest with yourself. Why are you putting off this task? Is it because you genuinely don't want to do it? Or is there something else going on? Maybe you're scared of failing. Maybe you're afraid that you won't live up to your own expectations. Or maybe you're just not interested in the task, and you're struggling to find the motivation. Whatever the reason, you need to identify it. Once you know why you're procrastinating, you can start to address the root cause. If it's fear, acknowledge it. If it's boredom, find a way to make the task more engaging. If it's a lack of motivation, dig deep and figure out what's really important to you. This kind of self-reflection isn't easy, but it's crucial if you want to break the cycle of procrastination. Step 2, set clear boundaries. Next, it's time to set some boundaries both for yourself and for the task at hand. One of the biggest reasons we procrastinate is because tasks feel overwhelming. You look at the big picture and think, there's no way I can do all of this, and so you put it off. The Stoics were big on setting clear, manageable goals. Instead of focusing on the entire mountain you have to climb, break it down into smaller, more manageable steps. Set a deadline for each step, and stick to it. This is where the concept of memento mori comes in, remembering that you're going to die. Yeah, it sounds grim, but it's actually a powerful motivator. Life is short and time is limited. By setting clear boundaries and deadlines, you remind yourself that you don't have forever to get things done. And here's a pro tip. Start with the easiest task first. It's called the low-hanging fruit approach. By knocking out a few simple tasks, you build momentum, which makes tackling the bigger tasks feel more manageable. Plus, there's nothing quite like the satisfaction of crossing something off your to-do list. Step 3. Embrace discomfort and take action. Here's the part where we really get down to business, embracing discomfort. Look, nobody likes doing things that make them uncomfortable, but avoiding them just makes things worse. The Stoics believe that discomfort is a part of life, and instead of running from it, we should face it head-on. When you find yourself procrastinating, ask yourself, what am I avoiding? Is it the fear of failure? The fear of the unknown? Whatever it is, acknowledge it, and then do the task anyway. The more you confront discomfort, the less power it is over you. And remember, action is the antidote to procrastination. Even if it's just a small step, taking action helps break the cycle of inaction. Don't wait for the perfect moment or for motivation to strike. Just start. Once you're in motion, it's easier to keep going. Step 4. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Another key Stoic principle is focusing on the process, not the outcome. This ties back to what we talked about earlier with perfectionism. Instead of worrying about whether your work will be perfect or whether you'll succeed, focus on the effort you're putting in right now. Marcus Aurelius had a great quote about this. Do every act of your life as though it were the very last act of your life. In other words, give your full attention to the task at hand, no matter how small or insignificant it might seem. By focusing on the process, you take the pressure off the outcome, which can help reduce procrastination. And here's the thing, when you focus on the process, you often end up with a better outcome anyway. By putting in consistent effort, you make progress, and that progress adds up over time. It's not about getting everything perfect, it's about moving forward, one step at a time. Step 5. Manage your environment. Let's talk about your environment for a minute. Your surroundings have a huge impact on your ability to focus and get things done. If you're constantly surrounded by distractions, your phone, social media, a cluttered workspace, it's no wonder you're procrastinating. The Stoics understood the importance of environment. They believed that to achieve peace of mind and focus, you need to remove distractions and create a space that supports your goals. So take a look around. What can you change in your environment to make it more conducive to getting things done? Maybe it's putting your phone on airplane mode, closing unnecessary tabs on your computer, or even tidying up your workspace. Whatever it is, make your environment work for you, not against you. Step 6. The power of routine and habits. Finally, let's talk about routine and habits. The Stoics were big on routines. They believed that having a consistent daily routine helped them stay focused and disciplined. And guess what? They were right. Habits and routines are incredibly powerful tools for beating procrastination. When you have a routine, you don't have to waste energy deciding what to do next. It becomes automatic, which makes it easier to stay on track. So, create a daily routine that supports your goals. Maybe it's waking up at the same time every day, setting aside specific times for focused work, or even practicing a daily meditation to clear your mind. And remember, building a habit takes time. Don't expect to create a perfect routine overnight. Start small and build from there. The more you stick to your routine, the easier it becomes to overcome procrastination. The journey to overcoming procrastination. So, here's the deal. Procrastination isn't just about poor time management or laziness. It's an emotional response to discomfort, fear, and stress. But by applying the principles of Stoicism, you can learn to face your tasks head-on, take control of your actions, and ultimately, break the cycle of procrastination. Remember, it all starts with being honest with yourself. Identify the real reasons behind your procrastination, set clear boundaries, embrace discomfort, and take action. Focus on the process, manage your environment, and build habits that support your goals. The journey to overcoming procrastination isn't easy, but it's worth it. Each small step you take brings you closer to your goals, and before you know it, you'll have built momentum that's hard to stop. Got a story of your own battle with procrastination? Drop it in the comments below. Let's learn from each other and keep pushing forward. And hey, if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with anyone who could use a little Stoic wisdom in life. Stay strong, and remember, you're in control.